Right, all right. So, welcome everyone, and this is Cornelius Adeoyin, and I'm on a journey of empowering the world through faith, tech leadership, and entrepreneurship. And today we'll be looking into the tech aspect of it. So, this is Cornelius on tech, and we're looking at the tech mastery framework because there is distraction everywhere and it takes discipline for you to go deep on in an age where everybody just wants to be on the surface. You want to know this. Yes, jack of all trade, master of none, but often better than master of one. However, you still need to be master of one or master of few, right? Even though you want to be jack of all trade. So one of the defining characteristics of our generation is access. We There has never been a time that so many people had access to so much information as it is in our landscape with smartphone, with internet connection. Every individual right now, we can learn software engineering, we can learn cybersecurity, you can learn cloud computing, you can learn whatever it is, product design, artificial intelligence, virtually, and any other skill, from anywhere in the world. You just need to be in the comfort of your room and learn. Yet there's this access, there's this information, but something interesting is still really happening. Why the informations, have become very much abundant, mastery has become increasingly rare. Only a few people are really masters of what they say that they know, right? We are producing people who are learners. They are just learning, they are learning, but they are not builders, right? People are consuming, but they are not creating. People are who are just doing basic of this starter course, fresher, all of those stuffs. People are starting courses, but they are not finishing, right? So the challenge that many professionals today are facing is not just ignorant, is learning in fragments. Many of us, right, know a little things about many things, but very few develop the depth that is required to become truly exceptional, to become 1%, right, of the 10%, right, in the world. And the technology world is moving fast, and the absolute truth is that the technology industry does not reward that you are exposed to something, that you are exposed to an information. It rewards your expertise, right? It rewards those who can solve difficult problem. You see, in tech you do hard things, right? You should be able to solve difficult problem. It rewards. If you cannot solve difficult problem, the tech space will not reward you, right? Enough of sugarcoating and say there is tech is the know, we know, but if you cannot solve problem, it will not reward you. You have to create meaningful solution. You have to be able to create consistent value and be able to deliver it. So the question is that what really separates those who have achieved mastery from those who remain just average, perpetually average? The answer is not really talent, right? The answer is that people are focused. The answer is focused. And one of the biggest mistake that aspiring developers, professionals make is believing that learning and growth are the same thing. They are not. Learning is that you are acquiring information, right? Growth is that you are developing capability, right? And these are not necessarily the same. You are consuming information, you are taking it in, you are taking it in, you are taking it in. But growth is that by taking it in, you are growing in the capability to be able to profile that kind of solution also, right? They are not necessarily the same. One person can spend 3 years just watching tutorials and you still struggle to build independently. But somebody can also complete 20 certification and you are still struggling to solve a practical problem in those certifications. Why? Because knowledge alone does not produce mastery. Knowledge alone does not produce mastery. Mastery is developed when knowledge is repeatedly applied. So when knowledge is repeatedly applied, that is where mastery comes in. You apply what you've learned, you tested. Knowledge is repeatedly applied, knowledge is repeatedly tested. That knowledge is repeatedly, you challenge with more difficult problem, is refined, and by that rigorous process, it now transforms you into competence. being in tech is not just you viewing, it's not a spectator, something. You do not become exceptional just by observing that, oh, this is the new trend also. You become exceptional in tech by doing. The market does not reward what you know. The market reward what you do, the person that you have become, right? And this is why focus is a very high competitive edge. We live in a place, we live in a space where our culture celebrates that there are many options, right? But the ability to learn anything really is a blessing, right? That somebody can learn anything and everything, but the inability to commit to something is a curse. The ability to learn something is a blessing, or anything. The ability to be able to learn anything anywhere you are is a blessing. But the inability for you to be able to say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm known for, this is the how the trajectory of my journey is looking like, is a course. Every day you see new opportunities. Every day you see new programming languages, new framework, new tech stack, new specialization, new shortcuts, to do something. AI trending. The problem is not that these opportunities are existing. The problem is that many of us, many professionals, many out of 100, almost all of us are chasing all of them simultaneously. So as a result of us chasing all of them simultaneously, we remain in one place long enough. We don't remain in one place, rather long enough to develop depth. Mastery requires that you are focused. Mastery requires that you are focused, and focus will expand it compound your expertise, right? The first few months of learning and skill are really, they are often difficult. Your progress is low, your results are small, you are doing this, you don't know how to, but the temptation to switch into another thing is very strong. When you are learning it and you're not getting it, you want to switch into another thing. But the greatest reward are often hidden beyond the point where most of us give up. Don't quit. Don't quit because it's difficult. That's why it's tech. Because you are solving real problem, or you are designed to solve real problem. The person who remains focused long enough towards a course will eventually, over time, compound growth. Their knowledge begins to start connecting. They are beginning to start to connect the dot. Oh, the patterns of things in that space start becoming visible to them. It now becomes easier to solve the problem, right? This is the reward of depth. This is the reward of depth. This is the reward of mastery. It brings you to a place where you see a problem, you are able to think, for a solution, a way around it, and you are able to provide a solution, right? Every one of us, really, every professional, every person who takes their growth serious eventually reaches this crossroad between giving up and mastery, between staying on the surface and mastery, right? We like continue just exploring, or we like commit. Do I want to just scan around, or do I want to commit to a course? For you to explore is actually good when you are a beginner. Right, when you just want to start, you don't know where to start, right? You're exploring, okay, how does this look? You are taking the crash course of all of those stuff. But commitment is essential if you want to gain mastery towards a course, right? Going deeper requires that you have the courage, because it will demand sacrifice, it will demand extra time. The moment you commit to mastery, you must become comfortable to say no to other opportunities, and not blindly though, right? But the moment you choose mastery, you must be able to say, it is front end I'm doing, and I'm doing front end, right? You should know definitely how to interact with back end and all of those stuff, but you know that you are gaining mastery in this place. Or if you are a full stack, you are doing front end, back end, you know that is a journey that you are into, and you are into it, fully. So the people who are masters, they think different. They understand that excellence, lives on the other side of repetition. You are repeating a task, you are repeating a solution, you are providing solution to problems constantly. This is where you understand that for you to have meaningful achievements, it comes by doing the same thing for a very long time. It comes by doing ordinary things for a very long time, so that they can become extraordinary, right? So most people think that mastery is incompetence. Most people think that mastery is, the opposite. Rather, most people think that the opposite of mastery is that you are not incompetent. It is a lie. The opposite of mastery is distraction. Distraction is where you are just aimlessly scrolling, you are eating tutorial here. Sometimes, and that's the twist, sometimes distractions appear productive. It may look like you taking another course, it may look like you joining another community, you learning how to use another tool, starting another project. But if it pulls you out from the core path, that you have chosen, that you want to develop in the long run, it will delay your growth. And many of us are falling because we are falling for this big time, not because we lack potential, but because we lack concentration in one. Our effort are scattered abroad, right? Our effort needs to be focus, laser focus. Sometimes our energies are fragmented. We put energy to this place. Our attentions are divided, right? If your attention is divided, definitely will provide a divided result. So for you to build mastery, right, you should never leave it to a chance. And this is the framework I'm giving us. For you to build mastery, don't leave it to a chance. It requires you intentionally designing the journey. And the first component of designing the journey is that you are clear about what you are doing. You must define what you are trying to master. What are you trying to master? Why do you want to master it? You must not be vague concerning your ambition. Your vague ambition will eventually, definitely, produce vague outcomes. So there is specifics required for you to create direction. Right? You must be specific enough. If you want to master, you must have a reason why, and you must be clear enough that this is what I'm choosing and that's what I'm choosing. Right? The second component after clarity is deliberate practice. Not random something that happens once in a while. Not just endless consumption and taking tutorial, what this 2 hours, what this 3 hours. No, it is deliberate practice. You have learned it, practice it, right? Because endless consumption will blow, right? So your focus must be designed to improve your specific competence, right? You improve competence in this area. And the third framework that I want to share is that you apply it. Many of us are learning, we are doing tutorial will not make you competent. You must apply. You must do projects that where you are able to apply that skill. Execution is the real deal that brings you to competence, right? And another thing that you must ensure that is a framework that I'm giving us is feedback. Be open to feedback, right? When your growth is accelerated when you learn from your mistake, when you evaluate your performance, when you tell somebody higher than you that have gone ahead of you, right, to review, right? And another is consistency. See, mastery is rarely built over intensity. You did 6 hours watching a tutorial today, right? The next time you are doing it is next month. No, that's intensity. And you cannot build mastery on intensity. It is majorly on consistently. Small things that you do, small improvements that you repeat consistently will eventually produce things that are extraordinary, will eventually produce extraordinary outcomes. And the truth of the matter is that technology will continue to evolve. There will be new tools, there will be new AIs, new industry that we do not even dream of right now will eventually appear. There will be new opportunities that will be created. But amidst all of those changes, there is one truth that remains constant, right? People who are deep in competence will always be valuable. If you are deep and you are competent in what you are doing, you will always be valuable, because organization will always need people to solve problems. There will always be need for people who can build. There will always be need for experts in a particular field. So the future of tech does not really belong to those who knows the most. All right, who knows, but people who are deep, who are master, who are able, and this is not disputing the fact that you need to learn, you need to know fragment of everything, but there must be a core of what you are pursuing. So I will leave you with these action steps, and the action step is that you audit your focus. Identify the skills that you have, identify your the project courses, identify the commitment that you are currently having that is committing that is competing with your attention. So ask yourself, which of these things that I'm committed to is towards my long-term direction? Do I want to build back end for the long term and I'm still doing front end? What distractions can I eliminate? What course can I leave and focus on this particular part, right? Audit your focus, right? And number two is that you define your mastery path. Choose one area that you want to become very exceptionally good at it in the next 3 years. Write it down, commit to daily learning to it, and stop chasing everything, right? Stop chasing everything. Stop chasing everything in the sense that it's not that you become ignorant of everything else, but that you become deep in this path that you have chosen, right? And number three is that after you have defined your mastery path, build a daily routine, a deep daily routine, right? That can work. Look at your day, dedicate blocks of time, do time blocking and dedicate time, because it is when you have focus, your focus is zoomed in towards a particular part, that mastery will eventually surge up. So there's a difference between average professional and exceptional ones, and it's not intelligence, it's commitment. Is willingness to stay at a path when others will leave it, right? Is willingness to go deeper, go beyond the surface when others will just be at the surface or remain shallow, right? Our world really is full of distraction, but for you to gain mastery, especially in tech, in this time and age, you have to choose focus. You have to avoid distraction. Information is common everywhere, but you have to make up your mind to pursue mastery. It's not just an advantage in tech, it's a life advantage for you to be able to have what it takes to channel your focus, to be laser focused and gaining mastery. And this is it on Cornelius on Tech for this week. And I am Cornelius Adeoyin, and I'm on a journey of empowering the world through faith, tech, leadership, and entrepreneurship. So this is not just learning, this is you becoming a master, this is you becoming evolving, right? And there's only one end to this journey. I know you know it already, and it is greatness. See you in the next one.